Howdy, folks. Heems Thornbeard here again, and we're going to be calling this segment Flavor of the Week. We are going to cover everything from comic book characters to movie characters to TV show characters, any kind of flavor that we can pull out here and lay down for you. We might also occasionally cover something crazy that we've come up with ourselves. I do have at least one episode planned for that. Um, Having said that, we're going to go ahead and jump in today's flavor of the week, and that is Merida Dunbroch from Disney's Brave, Scottish princess and archer extraordinaire. We are going to start on this build with our background, which is far more important to this than the Thor build we did earlier. We know Thor, you can slap a sailor in there, folk hero, that's not really what you're building around. You're building around the hammer and the thunder. That's what you're bringing to the table there. With this one, we're bringing a little bit more finesse, both with our bow and with our words. We'll get into that later. What we're liking about the noble background is the class or the feature that it gives us, because you can take this as any class. Thanks to your noble birth, people are inclined to think the best of you. You are welcome in high society, and people assume you have the right to be wherever you are. The common folk make every effort to accommodate you and avoid your displeasure. And other people of high birth treat you as a member of the same social sphere. You can secure an audience with a local noble if you need to. So this will be important later on, and we'll talk about that a little bit. But for race, obviously we're going to go human. Again, we're not about that optimization. Not to say that they can't go hand in hand, optimization and flavor, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So the only thing I'm going to say here is we're going to focus dex and wisdom because that's what Rangers, our first class, need to really shine. So for Ranger, we're going to pick the fighting style of archery for obvious reasons, and that's going to give us our flavor of Merida and all the practice with her favorite bow. She carries it with her throughout the course of the movie. It's an extension of her, it's a part of her. So this +2 to hit mechanically and roleplay wise is great flavor. Then we're going to, at third level, take the Beastmaster archetype. Now this is a bit controversial because it has been stated that it's the most underwhelming, it's underpowered, it's blah blah blah, this and that and everything. But I really think what the problem is that it takes a little longer than other classes to come online, so to speak, as well as the fact that you're really almost playing two characters. You're playing your companion and you're playing your ranger, right? So our companion is going to be Angus, our trusty steed, and we're going to take the draft horse because it meets the CR1 quarter requirement, as well as being one beefy boy for Angus. Now we might complete the case if we really wanted to that he's a war horse, blah blah blah. But I really think draft horse fits better because when they're charging up to the ring and he throws Merida into the ring, I feel like a war horse would be like, I deal with people, with spears trying to kill me. I don't care about some scary ring. Whereas Angus is like, whoa, I don't want to go in there. So Ranger is also going to give us a lot of flavor with our spell list, and we can kind of pick and choose, Hunter's Mark, all that good stuff, the standard fare for other reasons, but we definitely want Speak with Animals. That's going to give us our, kind of meat and potatoes for this character because she's talking to her mom when she turns into a bear and her little brothers, and, just throughout the course of the movie, this is plain as day to her. You talk to animals. Who doesn't? it also fits that Disney princess stereotype, right? But anyway, we're going to take Beastmaster Ranger all the way up to 12th level. That's going to give us the most out of our companion. Because at 3rd level, we can't command them as part of our action or use our action to command them instead of taking our action. But then at 7th level, we can command our companion as a bonus action to do certain things, to dodge, dash, disengage, or to help another player or yourself, depending on what you're doing. And then at 11th level, we are going to enable our companion to make 2 attacks, just like we can on our turn. And also, if our companion, depending on if you decide to go the route of the draft horse or not, to make use of their own multi-attack, which normally they would lose for being our companion. Then we're going to take 12th level just so we don't miss out on any feat or ability score increases, depending on what your group uses. So this build is really going to lend itself to a more RP heavy setting, but we're going to make it a little bit stronger now with our background, our wisdom, and our dexterity. We're going to add a little mental dexterity here by picking the fighter as our next 8 levels. And we are going to take the dueling fighting style from fighter because it is also showcased that Merida has some skill at wielding a sword. Then when we get to 3rd level, we're going to take samurai. Now samurai, this was Wizard's attempt of saying like, hey, we can do other things besides just boxing themselves into that classic European fantasy style. They wanted to say, hey, look, we have samurais, we have monks, we have, we can do Asian, we can do, European, we can do other things. Having said that, with the samurai, we're at 3rd level going to get some bonus proficiencies, depending on what you picked originally. This may allow us to round out our, insight, performance, persuasion, that sort of thing, which really, again, going to help us in our noble status. It's going to help us to maneuver the courts more effectively. We're also going to get our fighting spirit. This is a really cool ability. This gives us a couple of temp HP, so we can go in and maybe take that extra hit, maybe take a couple extra points of damage. That fireball, whatever happens, we can shave a couple off the top of that. This gives us 5 temp HP at a couple different levels. It increases as your levels in Samurai go up. But we start with 5 temp HP. And the coolest thing about this is as a bonus action, we can give ourselves advantage on weapon attack rolls. Weapon attack, so it doesn't have to be melee. Great if it is, even better if it's not for us because we're an archery build. So, from there, we're going to go all the way up to 8th level, but real quick we're going to take a stop at 7th level where we pick up the class feature of Elegant Courtier. So we can get an audience with our background, but this is going to stop us from flailing wildly around while we're in there. This lets us add our wisdom modifier to any charisma checks. So if we didn't, really build up that charisma coming up here, we can now use our what should be good wisdom, being a ranger, for perception checks and that sort of thing. We should be able to use that now in place of charisma, or in addition to any charisma we do have for those social checks, as well as this giving us proficiency on wisdom saves, which we know how many spells use proficiency for wisdom saves. Again, not an optimization build, but it's cool nonetheless. Let's see here. But the reason we've capped at 12th level for Ranger Ranger and 8th for Fighter is because we're going to cram as much flavor in this packet as possible. We're going to dig into our Feats now. So we're going to get 1 at 4th, 1 at 8th, and 1 at 12th from Ranger, 1 at 4th, 1 at 8th from Fighter. But because Fighters actually have an ability score increase as one of their class features at 6th level, we're going to be able to pick up another feat or ability score increase. So that's going to be entirely up to us. Just picked out the base 5 that I really feel bring this class home, and that is Sharpshooter. Obvious reasons again. We're all about that bow. We're all about archery. Defensive Duelist. We can add our Dex mod as long as we're wielding a finesse weapon as a reaction against a melee attack per turn. Mounted Combatant. Perfect for a draft horse. This gives us the ability to redirect attacks aimed at her mount, and it makes her mount that much more effective against area effective spells. And finally, Tough and Inspiring Leader. Tough, Merida takes some hits. I mean, she gets beat up by, a giant black bear and lives to tell the tale. That's pretty tough in my book. And finally, we have Inspiring Leader, which allows you to give your level plus, I believe it's Charisma mod, temp HP, if you spend 10 minutes giving a rousing speech, like she does in the film, to your companions. So that wraps it up for this week's Flavor of the Week. If you enjoyed what you saw here, like, subscribe, tune in next week for our next build. Thank you very much. Have a good one.